What's up, YouTube? Capital G here, checking out the cover card from Flames of Destruction. This card is pretty damn impressive. He goes by the name of Topologic Torusbaena. I'm not sure that I've ever seen an effect quite like this. This effect is pretty damn nuts. It's got mass removal and burn damage both into it. Well, I guess maybe something like Chaos Emperor Dragon. It's not quite that powerful, but it's still pretty damn impressive. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say Yusaku probably plays this on the anime. I haven't been watching Vrains lately, but I am about to pick it up once I'm done watching this anime called Noragami. And I say that because this guy kind of reminds me of Deco Talker, not with the effect, but kind of how the card's makeup is, like the typing, the attribute, the link points, the materials. They're all identical to Deco Talker. The only difference that I can tell is really just the base attack, Deco being 23 and this guy being 25. But everything else, the link points, the materials being 2+ effect monsters, the type, attribute, all of that is taken straight from Deco Talker. So the only other thing that we can look at is really the effect, and that's what makes this guy so strong. It says if a monster is special summoned to a zone, this card points to banish that monster and as many spell and trap cards on the field as possible, and if you do, inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each of their cards banished by this effect. That is actually pretty damn nuts. This guy is like Heavy Storm on crack, except not only does it banish the cards, but it also does burn damage for the cards that you get rid of on your opponent's side of the field. That's pretty damn crazy. I mean, imagine resolving this against Pendulum Magicians or, like Paleozoic. They would be absolutely blown out of the water. Now, keep in mind, this does banish your cards too, and I can't really think of any spells and traps in Yu-Gi-Oh! That really want to be banished. Like, there are a lot of cards that want to be blown up when they're face down in the spell and trap zone, like the artifact cards and whatnot, but not many cards actually want to be banished. And another thing about this card is that effect only activates when the monster is special summoned. Now, it seems like it would be relatively easy to activate this effect yourself, but you have to keep that in mind that your monster is going to get banished. Now, one of those zones does point to your opponent, so maybe they get tied up and maybe there's a chance that they're going to activate it. Maybe they'll forget what this guy does, or maybe they'll just be forced into activating it. But, there is a downside to this card. You could lose some of your cards in the process, but who knows? Sometimes it might be worth it just to activate this, just to get rid of your opponent's back row so that you can push through even if you do happen to lose one of your monsters. Or it might be worth it to use this just to get the burn effect. Like, that might be pretty cool. Either way, I think I like this card probably as a one of, because it seems really strong against decks that do like to play a lot of back row, or primarily against anything pendulum based. I mean, no pendulum card wants to be banished. There are a lot of cards, again, that want to be blown up while they are pendulum cards. Obviously, pendulum magicians have quite a few, but I can't think of any pendulum monster that actually wants to be banished. Now, there are some people saying that this card, like Power Creeps Deco Talker, I don't agree with that at all. To be honest, if you look at Deco Talker, yeah, the makeup of this and Deco Talker are the same, but Torusbaena and Deco Talker do completely different things. Like, Deco Talker is a card that, to me, is basically a giant battering ram. You can get the guy like to 3,300, 3,800 and just run over everything on your opponent's side of the field, causing massive damage. And it's a card that is primarily used to protect your cards, make sure your stuff can't be targeted. This is not what that card does, or that's not what this card does. This card is a card that is supposed to blow out your opponent's back row, do some burn damage. It's a card that you can manually activate without your opponent really doing anything. You don't have to interact with them at all to actually just wipe their back row. So the cards do completely different things, in my opinion. Very solid card overall. It'll probably be an ultra rare in the TCG. So whatever you guys think of Topologic Torusbaena, leave it in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on that notification bell for daily videos.